Hello everyone, I'm Morgan Merriman, Realtor with RE/MAX Alliance here in Fort Collins, Colorado. And thanks for tuning in to another episode of Lifestyle Living's Community Connection. So if you haven't seen, Community Connection is just a place where I can meet with local business owners and members of the city and talk about what they do, how they do it, what differentiates themselves from the competition, and how they support all of you guys. So today I have the pleasure of speaking with Sean Casey, who is the owner of SuperGlass Northern Colorado. So welcome, Sean. Thanks for taking the time to do this today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go ahead and dive in. Tell me a little bit about you, your background, and how you ended up with SuperGlass. Also, how long you've owned the location up here in NOCO.
Sure. So I was born in Denver. I lived in Gilpin County as a kid. Also got to live in Hawaii for a little while.
Nice.
But I ended up in Florida for high school. My dad lived down there. So after high school, I started working at the corporate headquarters of SuperGlass Windshield Repair. It was founded by my uncle David in the early 80s. So it's kind of a family business. I started working there as a call center agent, kind of. And then I was there 22 years, so I did pretty much everything there, ending up being the general manager of the corporate headquarters. Okay. So in 2020, right around the time COVID hit, coincided with my wife getting her doctorate. So being that it was a really high-stress job, we actually had another kid on the way at the time too, and a small kid. Then I made the decision to actually leave that job, and we moved to central Pennsylvania, where I got to be a full-time parent for a couple of years. Yeah. So when the opportunity came about for not only my wife to get a great position out here, but I had the opportunity to get the franchise for SuperGlass, it was a no-brainer. I mean, I know a lot about the business. It's a great area. We're really happy to come back. I have brothers here. My parents both live here. So we're really happy to have moved back. And it's been about a year and a half that I've been doing it semi-part-time still, because our kids are still a little bit small, but it's a great business. There's actually a lot of areas in the West that are still open. So any of your viewers who are interested in running their own business, superglass.com is the main company's website.
There you go. So when you said that the franchise was available here, it just was solely available. It wasn't already here and then you took it over.
So it was an open territory. We have a location in Denver. We have one in Colorado Springs, but there was nobody here for years and years. So yeah, it just kind of came up and I was able to get the rights to it.
Nice.
So yeah, really happy.
Not bad at all. So, okay, so tell me a little bit, you already did touch on it, but history behind SuperGlass. It started in the 80s. How many locations do you guys have nationwide?
Yeah, so, well, it is a nationwide company. It's also international. We have 350 locations, a little over that now. It started as the current company in 1992, but the founders had been doing repair already for a couple of decades. So, early 90s. It's a repair specialist, so it's a little different from other glass companies out there. We don't replace glass. So we're a commercial vendor largely. We do a lot of rental cars, trucking companies, auto dealerships, municipality fleets, anyone who has vehicles. Yeah. So it's a great business. You know, as long as we have cars, we pretty much have, something to do, but there's no conflict of interest. So our commercial customers save more money with us. Yeah. They know we don't get paid unless we prevent replacement. Yeah. So glass companies don't like us. They sell less glass, which is a good thing because it's also an environmental issue. You can't recycle windshields. Gotcha. So people don't really realize that. A lot of glass goes in the landfill that doesn't have to. So.
And is that because you'll see a windshield that's like shattered and it's still in place? Yeah. Is that why they can't recycle it, because of the film that keeps it in place?
It's bonded to a plastic that's really hard to remove from the glass. So it's possible to recycle it, but it's really expensive. Yeah. So that it just doesn't happen. Gotcha. So we prevent replacement as much as possible. That's really the big thing that our commercial customers use us for, is not only the quality of the repair is better because we're motivated to do the best repair possible, but just the savings aspect is a no-brainer.
And I think that's huge, and it says it on their website, no conflict of interest, because you're right, some of your competition or whatever come in with maybe something that totally could be repaired, and all of a sudden they're pushing you on a full replacement because it's going to be more money.
Sadly, it happens all the time, and I'm not mad at them. It's a great business. Yeah. But that's why we're here, and we've been doing it for 32 years now. So it's just a really different philosophy from the competition. We're not out there to sell a bunch of glass. That's really the big thing.
Yeah.
So
tell me a little bit, why is it maybe not the best decision to unnecessarily replace your windshield?
sure, and yeah, that's what most people don't even realize. So one of the biggest parts of my job is educating people about that because it's a big safety thing.
Yeah.
There's multiple safety designs in your vehicle that depend on the windshield and the original factory seal.
Okay.
So that's what we talk about. You'll see sometimes on our website and literature, it's got a little seal cartoon. It says save your factory seal. The urethane seal in your car was put in by a robot in moisture and temperature controlled conditions.
Okay.
So it's really hard to replicate that seal in your driveway.
Yeah.
And there's actually some like undercover exposés done a few years ago here that no shops did it right. Some guys weren't wearing gloves. Like, you just never know. A lot of times they're in a hurry.
Yeah.
And if you don't have to get the windshield out of your car, you really, really shouldn't, because the airbag bounces off of it. If you got a bad seal, the airbag will launch your windshield out.
Yeah.
And these are all in the case of an
And
accident.
then you could
So,
launch out.
yeah, and that increases your chance of fatality or major injury.
Yeah.
In a rollover, the windshield helps hold the roof up. There's a lot of things that have to do with cutting out that original windshield. So I always tell people, if I have to replace the windshield, I'm looking to sell the car pretty soon after that.
Okay.
Just because I know it's possible that those safety designs have been compromised.
Huh.
So, I mean, there's guys out there that probably do a great replacement. I can't say that you're definitely not going to get a good replacement, but I would recommend, if you have to, take it to a shop so it's indoors, moisture controlled. It should be cured. I think in dry areas like Colorado, it has to cure longer because they have to use special urethane.
Okay.
Usually urethane is moisture cured. So there's not a lot of moisture here. They have to let it dry longer. So you can't just do it in your driveway and put tape on it and say it's done.
Yeah.
It's not a proper replacement usually, or ever.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of the biggest thing.
Okay.
Money savings, convenience, that's great. The environmental aspects of it is important. But the safety aspect, I think, is the most important part of why we're a repair specialist.
For sure.
Rather than just selling glass and trying to make as much money as possible.
For sure. I mean, I think even, when we looked at my window out front, I've got the special Gorilla Glass on my Jeep, and he's fixing a tiny little chip, and he said, man, I would fix 50 chips in this thing before I have you replace it, because that seal is so secure, and you're just not going to get that with a replacement.
Not only that, a lot of times when you take out the windshield, you can get leaks of air and water. Not all of the glass fits perfectly.
Yeah.
So if you have to get a replacement, please get original equipment manufacturer glass, OEM glass, which is what you have in your Jeep. It's very valuable. I would never get rid of it.
Okay. All right.
And if you have to, make sure that you get OEM glass.
Yeah.
So.
No, super important. I mean, the safety thing in itself, especially for those of us who have families,
Exactly.
Obviously I care about my own life, but I care about my family's life even more. So
yeah, the priorities change when you have families.
Yeah.
If you have anyone else in your car, you want them to be as safe as possible. So people just don't realize that the windshield plays a big part in that.
yeah.
So.
Very nice. Cool.
Thanks.
So, okay, so I know you spoke a little bit about the uniqueness of SuperGlass in terms of processes of how you run the business, but talk about like resins you use, techniques that you use, and what sets SuperGlass apart from the competition.
Yeah, the technology is proprietary. The resins are made by my company. We concentrate on doing the best repair possible because we're a repair specialist. So over the years, just advancing that technology, making the resins better. It matches the glass on a refractive index.
Okay.
So what I'm doing, and it's some other repair people do a similar thing where they understand you need vacuum to get air out. So I'm exchanging air for resin. Okay. And if I can get all the air out and all the resin in, it's pretty invisible when it's done. Okay. So our visual guarantee is 90% visual restoration. So if I do the repair and it's completed and I get all the air I can get out of it, the worst case scenario is that you would see about 10% of what you see at the beginning of it. Okay. So, a lot of times it far exceeds that. That's the worst repair I would do is 10% of what you saw beforehand. Typically, I like to see 99% or better. Yeah. And that happens a lot. We have a lot of repairs that it's really hard to find after. But we do long cracks too. You know, sometimes you'll see a ghost of it afterward, even if it is 100% filled because of dirt. You know, so it's just best to call us as soon as you get the damage for the best result afterward. The technology is very unique. So, you know, they have in the glass industry, they have competitions and stuff. We won the first windshield repair Olympics.
Really?
Back when it was just about the quality, and then they had to kind of change it a little bit because no one could actually beat our quality. So
I mean, hey, that's a good thing to stand by. You know?
for sure.
That's good bragging rights. And so just to jump back, so you said, you know, sometimes you get dirt in it, you may be able to see some. So does the resin collect dirt maybe more than just the window's going to bounce it off?
So that's going to be the only thing that kind of shows up afterward is typically a little bit of dirt if it's been there for a while. Rain, you know, snow melt, you know, will let the dirt kind of get into the crack. So the resin will go around that, but I can't actually remove it, unfortunately. If I can figure out a way to do that one day, it'll make it a lot easier. But as long as it happens fairly quickly after the damage is done, there's no chance for the dirt to get down in there. It comes out really, really clear. So I think you'll be showing sort of some footage or before and after pictures in the edit of this video, kind of showing what it does look like in a typical repair.
Yeah, nice. No, and that'll be good because I know I'm very much a visual person. Hopefully it'll help you guys as well. So, you know, we can explain the process till we're blue in the face, but seeing it, then you're like, oh, all right.
Exactly, yeah.
And you even talked to me maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago about some new technology that you were working on, right? Some new light that you were working on?
We always are making new tools and stuff. I actually, you know, at corporate headquarters, I got to help design some of the equipment. One of those is a UV curing lamp. So, you know, we just have a strong UV curing lamp that's newer. It does a faster, better job. So I actually make those myself. So I think that's what I was probably describing. But yeah, it's just unique to our company.
Awesome.
No one else is allowed to get it. So
there you go.
Keep it for ourselves.
Keep you guys separate and at the top, hopefully. So, all right. So what is the menu of services provided? Approximate time to do most repairs, and anything else that's special about the service, such as warranties, guarantees, what have you.
Sure. So I specialize in repair, as I said. It takes about half an hour to 40 minutes to do a repair. I also do headlight restoration, and that's a 2-year guarantee with our coating that's also proprietary. We are getting into also scratch removal, so I should be able to do your sliding glass windows and, you know, dog scratches, wiper arcs on your car. If you forget to change your blades, sometimes it'll scratch your glass. We can remove that. So, you know, anything that's clear, anything that's transparent and damaged, we pretty much have a way to repair or restore it. So.
Love it.
Within 24 hours is what I'm shooting for. Lately, it's been definitely within 48 hours.
Okay.
So at your convenience, at your home or your place of business.
Nice. Yeah, and fully mobile.
Totally mobile. Yep. We come to the vehicle with, you know, our main customers are commercial, so they can't bring our fleet to us. So we show up and just take care of you, make it as easy as possible for the customer.
It's awesome. All right. Well, tell everyone how they can find you and get more information.
Yeah, so my website is SuperGlassNOCO.com. The phone number is 970-834-3999. And that should come right to me. If you need an appointment, it's best to call as soon as you get the damage, and I'll plug in the schedule as soon as possible and get that taken care of for you.
I love it. All right. Side question here. When you aren't working, what do you enjoy doing here in NOCO?
Yeah, so my wife Melinda and I have 2 daughters that are 5 and 8, so they keep us super busy. As you know, taekwondo lessons, they're in ballet lessons, they have lots of school stuff. So between all their schedule and stuff, I like to play guitar and drums. I like to cook for my girls. We try and spend as much time outdoors as possible.
Yep.
So yeah, we just love being back out here and enjoying Fort Collins.
Same. You know, I mean, you moved back in what you said about a year and a half.
2022.
We moved back in 21, and it's great being back here. It's such a great area, especially when you have young kids.
For sure.
Well, thanks again to you, Sean.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you to all of you for tuning in. You know, I've known Sean here for a couple years since our kids do karate together, and, you know, hearing about the company, hearing about the different technology, what sets them apart. You know, he's going to come out and fix my windshield, and we're going to have him fix my wife's windshield too. So such a great resource to have here in the local NOCO area. And like he mentioned, for those of you, who are interested in franchises yourselves, there's some available territories. So go ahead and reach out to Sean. Again, Morgan Merriman, realtor here at RE/MAX Alliance in Fort Collins, Colorado. If you have a business that you'd like to be featured on my interview series, or if you know somebody who does, just go ahead and reach out to me. All of my information will be at the end of the video. And of course, I'm always happy to help out you and any of your loved referrals for any real estate needs. So till next time, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Lifestyle Living's Community Connection. See ya.